Hi, I am Steve the Poet. We're here on Hesketh Park to do a recording again for Unsigned FM. I've got a couple of poems, both on the theme of mental health. We've all seen and we've all heard, we all know, since the lockdown, it's had a terrible effect on people's mental health. I think everybody has suffered to some extent. I felt particularly sorry for the very old and the very young over the last year. We've all seen the pictures, the before and after shots of the elderly people and the terrible effects that the tyranny of the lockdowns has had on the health. And it's well known. It's a lot of people have just died of loneliness, died because the loved ones have not been there to look after them. And also, as I say, the very young. Something you always hear old people say. They used to say it when I was a kid, and they still do. They say, "Oh, kids, I've got it easy these days." Well, I think people should stop saying that, because I don't think kids have ever had it as hard as this in living memory. It's an absolute atrocity what is going on. So, first poem I want to tell you I wrote last year when the lockdown was doing me head in. I called it Pulse. The heartbeat of earth, to me before unnoticed. Its pulse now crystal, relentless, though not constant. The slower time moves, the stronger its torrent. Tick-tock. My wandering mind unwinds all clocks. Stepped out the circle, still I'm inside a measured box. My spine's entwined with some kind of pleasure, torture, paradox. I find myself confined in hell, a cell devoid of guards or locks. Tick-tock. I am unplugged, yet still I sit still and watch those seconds. Infinite, yet never uncountable. Never, no. Always you can count them all. Always you can count them all. 60 times 60 times 24 times 7 times forever, then still plenty more. Tick-tock. Time may heal, yet time does not forgive. Time is true, yet truly time is relative. As time will twinkle by when time for drinking behind bars. As time trickles like treacle when time for thinking behind bars. As time is lost in love and fun and shameless sin. As time stops when counting costs of what you've done in places you have been. Tick-tock. If time is linear, had an end and will be gone, as some say, then why is time so familiar? The same insistent sun returns above each moody day, a sun that turns both white and black to grey in time. A desert is drained in the hourglass, it buries my future, revealing my past, so I turn that timepiece before the last grains run through, but the vision stays fixed, this illusion is true. Cock-a-doodle fucking do. And when I flip from artistic to mathematic, my ears they switch and start to pick the talk before the tick. Ignore the medic, keep my edge, need to be quick, keep your nocebo, don't tell me I'm sick. Talk, tick. Is it time to clap and scream and shout and cheer? Or should I sit back in front of lonely screen absorbing fear? Time to queue in lines, accruing fines, a short and jeer. Yet there's always time for mass hysteria. The wages paid from the closed tills, the graves are made, but are they filled? Do I still age as time stands still? If unafraid, will I get ill? Have I been saved against my will? Those they hide away may go unnamed. Should I now pray before I'm killed? Bong. And another one I'd like to tell you are called Shout. One of my favourite with this. Shouting at my telly, questioning all I saw, doubting all it tells me, I'm festering indoors. I need to get out to shout some more. I did try to scream at our sky, did I, but I failed. No sky to be seen, it was veiled, chemtrailed, screened way up high. I saw a congregation of sleeping soldiers in an old churchyard, consumed with the fixation to find the oldest. Wasn't much hard. I told him, you were the boldest and you were the best, and now I can use you to get off my chest the lies that they've told us as you've laid there at rest. I dropped to my knees, looked up to the trees and berated those that chose to go naked through the months that are coldest, and complimented the furs on their all-weather dress. To the edge of concrete where the elements meet, Gaia hums a tune for me. I argue with June, disagree with tree, all that sing in bony canopy, four-legged things, and those cursed to crawl on belly without feet. The last remnants of creation pushed towards the sea like an invading army relentlessly by an ever-growing nation, hell-bent on mutually assured defeat. A gap so narrow, left for sparrow and all the sprogs of nature's mother. Small strip of green trapped between tarmac and the deep black, clearly seen and quickly jogged from one side to the other. I gave my opinion to a single magpie in his own dominion. He stood mute, awaiting my salute. I stamped on the toes of tradition, spat in the face of superstition, and told him what I thought of him. On I did prowl, deaf to the warning of a watching moon owl, my back to nature, onto where the air does hate ya. There came a storming, and the wind did soon howl. A swirl of plastic debris to a wire fence is pinned, exposed flesh is almost skinned. I turn and face the hate, start and lose a one-sided debate, but I feel like I've wind when venting my fury, face into such wind. On the edge of land, I did complain to every grain of sand, did try to apply my blame to the dead, and sought host from all that had never breathed, bury my shame in their graves, and leave my past for icy waves on a western coast where countless widows have grieved. Horizon stretches far and wide in front of me, and to each side my notions impressed on the ocean's tempest. I cried at the winter spring tide, and then in jaded moment stood out on shore, faded all opponents, and I felt the need to shout no more. For before me was the sea to reassure that I had seen and I had been to the edge, questioned all I heard and doubted all I saw. And at once it took my pledge that my bets I'd never hedge, as at last I was prepared to follow only natural law. For all with spine will loot and will devour, but in time before the fruit turns sour. Yes, the season's bare and it is cold, but its reason's fair and does unfold. It carries message for freeborn that all is fine when faced to storm. Your faith in cloud and crows and flowers, and turn from those who pursue power. Thank you. If you like